So look, I have a confession to make. I watch anime, and I'm black. Shocker, right? But I was watching Terrific Tariq one day, a go-to YouTuber that you should definitely sub to his channel. His link is down in the description. And he made this video called How to Black, where he's basically exploring black representation in cartoons. So my old unoriginal ass was like, why don't we do that? But anime. So Stain, nigga, give me that. That's mine now. We're gonna look at the good, the bad, and the okay in several anime today. Today we're doing How to Black, exploring and evaluating black representation in anime. Also, subscribe to it, nigga, man. Please. Okay, we're gonna start off with the good. Surprisingly, after all my research, there's not a lot of obvious like racism in anime, so clap it up, you know? That genuinely makes me happy. There are a lot of great black anime characters, and you know why they're great? They don't acknowledge their blackness. And they don't put emphasis on their blackness in any aspect. To make a good black anime character, you don't even have to acknowledge our blackness. Who would have ever thought? And if you do, just make sure that your writing isn't dwelling too much into stereotypes. It sounds like a pretty simple criteria, right? Well, you'd be very surprised. A lot of people still get this wrong, but we'll get to those later. Let's talk about my favorite black characters in anime. This took a lot of thinking, but I think I'm going to start off with Scar from Full Metal. He probably not even black for real, but Scar is damn near Malcolm X as an anime character. His backstory is really interesting. He's just a super oppressed figure that wants to get revenge for his people. He's a really great character, and I think he's a really great black anime character. I think he's a really good representative of it. I think Yasuke is a good example too. Even though his show was kind of buns, I'm not gonna lie, I still think his character was pretty cool. He's one of the few black main characters in anime as well, so I think that's extra points right there. He's basically a legendary samurai, and yeah, he deals with some kind of oppression in the show. Them niggas was literally trying to watch the black off that nigga, calling him dirty, and that shit was wild, fool. I ain't gonna lie. But I think that it was just representative of the times, and it was really like that at a point. It's a shame that the show itself as a whole didn't do Yasuke's story that much justice, or his backstory that much justice. But regardless, like the parts that we seen of his past were really cool, and he's just a really raw ass like samurai character in that show. And he's not like too timid or anything. Like I really like Yasuke as a character. Afro Samurai is my last pick for this section. This nigga Afro is goated, man. The show doesn't acknowledge his blackness at all, but you could tell that this one's for the brothers. You could tell. I mean, the soundtrack for Afro Samurai was primarily handled by RZA, and his companion is literally Samuel L. Jackson. So, come on now. This is one of my favorite pieces of black media ever, and it's all based around a black badass samurai. Best art design and fighting I've seen in anime. His character design is super cool. The fact that they made the Afro as a symbolic piece for us is super dope. I don't know, I think it's just super cool to see a main character in anime that just looks like me. And fights to the same kind of music I listen to as well. Afro is really him, and I'm glad they made him so cool. We're going to list off a few honorable mentions before we go to the next session. So honorable mentions for Chiron from Fire Force, Yoruichi from Bleach, Hibana from Fire Force, Tosin from Bleach, Piccolo, I don't care, he's black, Piccolo, Veldora, Main, and Ogun from Fire Force as well. Fire Force really has like good black representation altogether. Now let's move on to the bad. Here we go, man. There's definitely some bad representation of black people in anime. It's crazy because one of these isn't as obvious as the other. I think we already know. Killer is wild, gang. I'm sorry, but gee, why did y'all do this? First off, he's black, and his name is Killer. Red flag number 1. The big lips, red flag number 2. But I can get past that. The real problem is when folks open his mouth.
They called your name, buddy. It's your turn in the ring. Hey, don't get out, case, hold up!
Why is he talking like that? And what the fuck is he even saying, dog? Like, gee, when I watched this shit the first time, I swear this was hilarious because I was like, this shit cannot be real. Me and my homie Josh were crying whenever this nigga talked. Like, ain't no way. They was in the art studio drawing this nigga. They was like, yeah, this is fine. Man, this character shouldn't even exist, like, altogether, man. Like, y'all really slimy for even making this nigga into the show, folks. Now, hear me out, folks. Hear me out on this one. Raikage, hear me out. If you think about it, Raikage's character is actually kind of racist, folks. I'm kind of reaching. I'm kind of reaching, but hear me out, hear me out. This is literally one of the first male black characters that we meet in Naruto, right? Why this nigga gotta be big, black, angry, irrational, and he got cornrows, dog? Like, bro, what do you niggas on, G? I know what you thinking. Like, why? Wouldn't Killer B be more racist because he rapping and he breakdancing? You would think so. But at least Killer B a cool nigga at the end of the show. Like, he's not, like, irrational like him. Raikage just be mad as hell for no reason. Like, he just always aggressive and violent for no reason at all. Wasn't this nigga about to kill Naruto and his homies in the last movie? He was the only one that was trying to do that? Maybe I'm tweaking, but they just wrote Raikage to be a strong, angry, irrational black man that wants people to fear him. I feel like that's the way they wrote him. And I don't really like that. I'm not gonna lie. For the last section, we're gonna move on to the okay representation. These are the ones that's like right in the middle. I can see an argument for both sides. Like, these could be looked at as racist or not. I'm joking, by the way. I don't really care. But I'm pretty indifferent on these anyway. These specifically. Killer B. Hear me out. Once again, hear me out. Hear me out. Yeah, he got Killer in his name. He got cornrows, and he only speaks in raps. Damn. That sounds way worse when I say it out loud. Killer B is still a goated character. Like, he's pretty likable despite all of that. Killer B is my nigga regardless. What'd he say? Konayero, Bakayero, baby. He's such a funny and raw ass character, man. And he handled having to tell Beast like it wasn't shit. Like, Gaara and Naruto went through hell because they had it. He was like, okay, writes down more raps. Killer B is goated. But I can see the argument. I definitely see the argument. It's pretty obvious. On Yonkapone, I'm gonna keep it a bean, dog. My only problem with this is his name. He's the only black character in the show. So they really like violated that nigga in Attack on Titan. His design is grateful. He flee as hell in that suit. He got one of the cleanest lineups in anime history. Clear skin. Like, he looks all right. They was in the studio like, all right, we pretty much got everything down packed, but what should we name him? I know niggas wasn't sitting around brainstorming. They was like, oh, I got it. Let's call him on Yonkapone. Oh, man, out your punk ass. Like, bro, you dead ass? Like, you could have called this nigga James or something, bro. Why did you have to choose that name? And even, no offense to anybody that got that name, folks, but the one black character in Attack on Titan, bro, they kind of went all out with the name right there, folks. Now, Karui. I can see the argument for this, but I'm pretty indifferent on it, like I said earlier. I mean, you can look at it as another black character that's overly violent and aggressive, but personally, I don't really care, and I wasn't offended by her and her character. But I can see somewhat like why people trying to reach. Like, you know, one of the first times that we see her is she was beating Naruto ass for pretty much no reason because it wasn't his fault. He just didn't leak the information on Sasuke. But I can kind of see it. We don't have that much representation in anime like that. So when we finally do get representation and either the character has some minuscule negative traits or we're drawn in a disrespectful way, I can see why people would be mad. I'm not mad because she ended up being a good character anyway. Plus, Naruto's creator has several female characters that have similar personalities like that, like Sakura and Naruto's mom. So it is what it is. I mean, I don't really care. All right. I think I got most of my stupidity out. But in all seriousness, I think overall, black representation in anime is pretty good. Characters like Yasuke and Afro are really good examples of how good black representation is in the anime world. Hopefully stuff like Yasuke will break down barriers and open up avenues for more black main characters. I'm not the one to be like super offended because I actually enjoy watching anime. I'm not constantly looking for stuff to be offended by. You know, maybe the world should take notes. If I see more black protagonists come from this, then that's cool. If I don't see more black protagonists come from this, then whatever. I'm going to watch anime regardless and enjoy it. So I think overall, black representation in anime is pretty good. There's not that much racism in anime nowadays. You know, Akira Toriyama, he had, you know, Killer, Mr. Black, you know, it's cool. It's fine. I'm not offended. Honestly, I laugh at that shit half the time because I don't even feel like it should be real to begin with. But it's not something that I would be super offended by. And yeah, you shouldn't do it. Of course you shouldn't do it. Like, I don't complain overall. I think anime is in a good spot. I think there's a lot of really good black characters in anime. and some that we adopted. Piccolo's black, Scar is black, Feldora is black. I've called them. They're over here. They're on this team. But I think that as far as overall black representation in anime is really great, and I really think that they're going in a good direction. But that's all from me, man. As always, man, have a great day. Peace.
Forever, but sometimes we seem to disagree. Pray that you protect her and increase my sympathy. I'm a mini you, one day I'll have a mini me. I'm your son, I shouldn't treat you like an enemy. I get annoyed when you point out all my